Captain America sequel, anything but brave new era for an aging Marvel IP. Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe kicked off its 2025 offering over the long weekend with Captain America Brave New World, which net an $88 million 3-day opening and $100 million over the extended weekend domestically. Anthony Mackie's first turn as the titular star certainly isn't the lowest MCU showing. Still, it's emblematic of the franchise's growing pains and evidenced last summer by Deadpool and Wolverine was more isolated spectacle than a dawn clearing. I don't know what that means. There's a chart there if you want to go to it. Just showing you the domestic opening of.
Sorry, I'll scroll down to the chart.
Yeah, so you can see. Weirdly enough, Captain America: Brave New World actually outperformed Captain America, but Captain America was a brand new movie at the time. It set a low bar, which was the first batch of MCU movies under Paramount. It fell short of the latter two Evans films that saw such Marvel IP come to dominate the box office after 2012's The Avengers. However, it's not the first time Disney has blocked out a long February weekend. Black Panther in 2018 made a sensation of the present-day box office, opening at just over $200 million. And preceded the film's $1.3 billion global haul. I'm going to skip down here. It just kind of goes through the history of it. To Mackie's credit, he's been a mainstay of the MCU's film for years and led one of the franchise's first Disney Plus series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, alongside titular character Sebastian Stan, who is up for Best Actor for the Oscars. But Stan isn't supporting Mackie in Brave New World. Instead, he's a part of the cast of May's Thunderbolts, a new entry in the MCU led by a hodgepodge ensemble of existing characters from the past. The ensemble approach is tricky, as 2021's Eternals, which introduced 12 heroes to the MCU, didn't resonate with fans. But the Thunderbolts doesn't even have a director with films on his resume, as Eric Shearer worked in television until his MCU sign-on, helming episodes of Beef and an episode of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. The same is true for longtime TV director Matt Shankman, who is helming July's Fantastic Four reboot. He worked on The Last of Us and is familiar with Pedro Pascal. Given it some hype long after the days when Evans led two Fantastic Four films before the MCU started, but is yet another gamble before the franchise returns to safer grounds with as many heroes as it can muster for Avengers Doomsday next year. That's pretty much the article. It's just saying that,
No, that's good. But I think the chart really tells an interesting story. Look at the Marvel's opening. Can I zoom? Can you guys see this?
Yeah, you need to blow it up.
I'll blow it up. I'm sorry. Let me blow this up a bit so you all can observe. We've got the Marvels opening at 46.1 million, but the global total was 206.1. I mean, one of the lowest in the MCU in terms of total box office. We don't know what the global total will be for Captain America Brave New World. I mean, opening at 87.8 million, which was, it underperformed where they said it was going to be over 100. Wasn't. They kept moving the estimates down. Now 87.8 million. Okay, fine. And it was a holiday weekend. Okay, fine. We don't know what the global total will be, but we know that the drop off of the Marvels was steep. And this could happen to Captain America Brave New World. And look, the reception has been mixed. Let's be fair. It's still a rotten critic score. I don't know what the we can check on Rotten Tomatoes if that's changed. If the needle is moved, I'll refresh. I have it in a different screen here. It is 49% and 80% audience. So a divide there. But still, one of the as we talked about on Monday, 33rd out of 35 Marvel movies ranked by the critic score. Alan, what are your thoughts on this? And when you look at these numbers, which I think you should be able to see on your screen now,
Yeah.
kind of paints a picture of what the future of this movie might be. It gives you some historical perspective. These are not all the Marvel movies. These are select ones that, kind of relate. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, here's the interesting thing. So let's compare it to Captain America, the first one back in
At the
2011.
time.
Yeah, so we could talk about inflation, the fact that movie tickets were a lot cheaper back then, but also the reason I believe for its success was the fact that we were building momentum with the Avengers. We had
That's
Iron
right.
Man, Iron Man 1 and 2. I think Thor came out at this time already. Then you
Yep.
have Captain America, which leads into Avengers. So we are building momentum. So yeah, people were not familiar. People were not sure about Captain America. And ultimately they gave him a chance and they brought him back for 2 more movies plus the Avengers. Captain America Brave New World is on the opposite end of that. Marvel is on a decline. It has been failing in terms of storytelling, and as the article points out, the people put behind the storytellers, these television directors who are given the first chance to make a movie. Captain America, wasn't that Joe Johnston who directed that?
Yeah.
I mean, Kenneth Branagh did Thor. I mean, these were the quality directors that were put on projects back then, and now we're bringing on TV directors to do this. And so all this does is just illustrate the fact that Marvel is on a steady decline, and Brave New World is, I think there's less excitement for it. I think the only reason it did well is because the price of tickets. Also, it's in a lot. There's premium theaters that didn't exist for the most part back when Captain America came out.
Right.
And there's there's Fantastic Four out there. Maybe let's just say that that's the most exciting movie that's coming out. This movie does nothing to build into that excitement to see Fantastic Four. And so there you go. That's, again, we're just clearly pointing out the state of Marvel at the moment. And Fantastic Four better do well.
Well, look, here's the big problem. We have discussed this before. There are so many loose ends from phase 4 and phase 5, and Kevin Feige, he's not even using the P word anymore. Phases. He has dropped that. When I was at the Marvel presentation at San Diego Comic-Con, he said, we're not going to talk about phases. We're going to talk about a couple of movies, right? He did a preview of Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Captain America Brave New World. That was it. Like, we're going to talk about these films, okay? And that was all. No phases, nothing else. No TV even. And that's what he did. But the loose ends from all the loose ends of phase 1, 2, and 3 were leading to 2 big things, 2 events. What were those events? The formation of the Avengers, bringing those heroes together, and then taking them to their ultimate destiny, a showdown with Thanos, brought together by the Infinity Stones. I don't know for what's happened with Marvel since. I don't know who the Avengers are. I don't know where it's leading. It was going to lead to a showdown with Kang, which may or may not still be happening.
I can't imagine it would.
By the way, I have Dante's Kang figure right here.
Happy birthday, Dante.
He keeps forgetting it. And I got this at Ross for $3. So in any case, I don't know where this is all leading. And I don't know who the Avengers are. And even if you took the heroes that are currently out there, is there going to be an Avengers with Sam Wilson, Captain Marvel, Photon, Ms. Marvel, Hulk,
Kate Bishop,
Thor, Kate Bishop? Who are the Avengers? Shang-Chi? I think even you would agree, Shang-Chi. And the weird thing is, Shang-Chi as a standalone movie is actually one of the more enjoyable films of that phase.
Yep.
It's only ruined because of the guy who's the lead in the movie. Simu Liu is terrible. But I like the storyline with his parents. That whatever.
Yeah.
That's a whole other debate.
Yeah. I mean, again, with Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, there was excitement and momentum built up. I mean, look, the only thing I'm excited about is Fantastic Four, and by name only. We want to see it. Avengers Doomsday and Secret War. That sounds exciting, but I don't know anything about it. And as you say, who's going to be in it? And and what story are we going to tell? Because with Kang, it was all supposed to be this multiverse stuff. We're not even talking about the multiverse anymore. No one cares about the. I never liked the multiverse in the first place.
It's a cheat. A multiverse is a cheat. It's, oh my gosh, Black Panther is dead. T'Challa's dead. No, he's not. Here he is from Earth 252. Like, what? It makes death meaningless. And let's be fair, in the history of comics, every time they try to go off script with this issue, Robin dies for sure. And actually, to be fair, Robin did die through a phone-in vote. Believe it or not, Robin died. But the classic cover holding the dead crumpled body. That's it seems like every comic book character has died, been resurrected, and there's always a reset because it doesn't work. Their mantles do not work as a concept. And I think the big problem with Marvel right now is they're going to understand very quickly mantles don't work. Good characters work. And you have the benefit of the comics to look at, did this work in the comics? Yes. Let's do that. Did this not work in the comics? How did fans react? No, it did. They canceled. They've canceled how many times Captain Marvel? How many times canceled it? I mean, these characters do not resonate through ages. You don't pass down. They don't have new fans. When you look at the Fantastic Four created in 1961, right? The fact that was it November 61, the first issue? Like that, it's still today, still telling stories, right? And they've had several attempts to make the FF into a film. It's never translated. And this could be good. I'm cautiously optimistic, but based on what we know of Marvel's history, I think if you're skeptical or pessimistic, I don't blame you. Final thoughts. We have a lot of comments here.
Here's the thing. You talk about comic books. I think the issue was Marvel and Disney didn't want to pay these writers, these creators, and so they had to go and tell their news stories. Guess what? If you had paid these writers $20 million, you'd be making profits on these movies. $20 million compared to what they're spending is a drop in the bucket. So why not? Star Wars, the same thing. The writers of the extended universe, you could have told their stories. You could have paid them $10 million, $20 million. And those movies would have made a lot of money. And that $10 million would have felt like nothing in the overall scheme of things. So it's just one misstep after the other. And, as excited as I am about Fantastic Four and the new Avengers, I'm not excited about them.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right. I just think to get Marvel back on track, they need to tell a story people care about. I don't know who the new Avengers are. I don't think they have a strong enough team. They're missing original Cap, Iron Man, and Black Panther. I think they underestimate how popular Black Panther was. Great in movies not called Black Panther. He was great in Civil War. He was great in Infinity War. He was great.
But you didn't like it when he co-starred in Black Panther?
Yes, he co-starred with like every other character. That's a movie that's overrated for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nominated for
I'll
Best
say,
Picture.
yeah.
Oddly.
I'll just say this: if by the time we see Avengers Secret Wars, if we don't get the sense that Marvel is on the right track, Disney just needs to clean house, tear it all down, and start over again. Maybe starting all over again would be the best thing to do. And just, I don't trust Disney to do it, but there are people out there who I think can restart the Marvel universe and do it right.
Well,
Yeah, but they're old and white. That's the problem.